Guys, I have been actually experimenting with AI in actually coding, and I found most of the people actually use it the wrong way. They just ask the large language model or the AI tool to just generate the code for the particular tool that they want to build. And what they're gonna do is they're just gonna copy that particular code and then paste it in the code editor that they're using, whatever VS Code or whatever it may be. So if you don't understand the code, what it's generating, you can't actually make the best out of it, right? But here is the thing. What if I told you that there is a particular process that you can actually follow in order to generate the high quality code from the large language models or the AI tools? I have been actually using this particular strategy or the approach by myself in order to create the tools that I am actually creating now. And in this video, I'll try to actually compare the all the LLMs, like the all the popular LLMs, with the prompt that we are gonna use in this particular video in order to create the tool. And I'll be also sharing you some best practices that you can actually follow in order to actually generate the code. Don't worry, if you don't know how to code, you can also watch this tutorial. You will also come to an understanding how to actually use AI in the coding part. And the next part of this video is going to be how to install an AI agent in your code editor. Like I am actually using VS Code. So I'll be installing an AI agent in VS Code. And what this agent is going to be doing is this is going to plan the entire project for you, and with just a click of the button, you can actually try to convert the entire plan that you have created into the code. So if this sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. I'm sure you will find lot of value in it and you will learn lot of new things. So let's get started with the video. So as I have told you, we are going to divide this video into two parts. So the first part is going to be we are going to build an AI tool from scratch using the LLMs, like the most popular LLMs. So we'll try to actually get the entire code with a single shot so that we can actually test the performance of the large language model. And also we can later when I show you in the second part of the video, you can actually try to plan the entire process with an AI agent. In that case, you will find a lot of value in it. So yeah, let's just go ahead with the tools. So the LLMs that we are going, or the AI tools that we are going to use are going to be ChatGPT, obviously, and we are going to use Gemini and also Claude, and also we are going to use Grok 3 as well, which is the recent AI model launched by the X team. So and obviously we are going to use the most popular model in nowadays, which is DeepSeek R1 as well, and we are going to use Quant 2.5. This is the large language model that is developed by the Alibaba group, if you are not aware of it. And finally, we are going to use the Mistral as well in order to get the code. So what we are going to do is we will be giving the same prompt to all the large language models. So what we are going to check with this is we are going to check with all the large language models whether they are able to come up with the code, like the right code in their first attempt. So let's just go ahead and start with ChatGPT. So I'll try to structure the prompt so that you will also understand how you will be structuring it. So guys, I have actually drafted the prompt. So I mean, this is not the complete prompt. We will be going with in-depth prompt now. So I'll just try to show you the thing. So obviously we are going to give it the task that it has to do, which is it has to write the Python code. So I did not tell you, right? So what we'll be building in this video is a block title generator. So what we are going to build is an AI block title generator, which actually takes the input from the user as the topic of the blog, and then it is going to generate the blog post titles. So this is the tool that we are going to build in this video. And the flow of the tool is going to be, it has to get the topic from the user, like the blog post topic from the user. And the next thing is going to be, it has to combine the input that the tool got from the user with the prompt, right? Let's say the prompt that we gave is create 5 blog post titles on, and the next thing is going to be the topic that the user gave. So that has to be the variable which has to be attached to the prompt. So that is the second step. And the third step is going to be the API call. So if you are new to APIs, so API is nothing but, like, I'll just give you a very simple example. Let's say if you have the data that I want to access in my own application. So in order to access your data in my application, so I'll be requesting you to actually give me a secret key that I can use every time when I make a call to your server or database. So what I'll be doing is I'll be requesting you a secret key that you will be giving me. Whenever I try to make a request to your server, I'll be using that particular secret key. And so you will be even understanding that the request that you have received is from me. So you will be charging a fraction of cost to actually send the data to my particular application. So this is how the API is going to work. And the secret key that we are going to use here is called the API key. I think you are actually clear with the APIs. And the next thing is going to be, we will be showing the generated titles to the user. So usually this is going to be the prompt that most of the people would be giving to the tools or the LLMs. So the problem with this particular prompt is there isn't any structure that is mentioned, or there isn't any what you say examples that are given to the LLM in order to generate the code. So what we can do is, so the problem with LLMs is it is going to hallucinate a lot. Like if you did not actually, like I have mentioned it to use the GPT-4o. As GPT-4o is a famous model, it might actually search the web, or it might actually get the code that it can actually integrate with the what do you say, the API call. But if the AI model did not find that particular code in its trained data or on web, I mean, obviously it would be on web, but if it is not able to find it, it is going to start hallucinating, and it is going to give you some random code, which is going to like give you obviously errors, which you will be not able to generate the high quality code, or you will be not able to build the what you say, the tool that we are going to build, right? So in order to overcome this particular thing, you can actually try to give the snippet of the API, like whatever large language model that you want to take. In this video, I'll be actually calling the GPT-4o, like I will be taking an example of GPT-4o. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just going to the documentation of that particular large language model. So if you just search online, like if you just search for OpenAI documentation or OpenAI API documentation, you will get the documentation link on top of the search results. You can just open that, and on the left side you will have the navigation to move into the documentation part. So like I'm just going to the what you say, the text generation, and we are going to like as you can see, we just have the entire snippet that we can actually try to use in our code. So what this structure is going to do is, as you can see, the model that we are going to use is GPT-4o, and here is the content that like the prompt that you have to pass in is going to be in the content section. So what I'll do is I'll just try to copy this code, and I'll go back to the chat GPT, and I'll give it this particular snippet. So as I have told you, the model that we are going to use is obviously going to be GPT-4o, and the next thing is going to be the prompt. You will be changing this obviously once you have developed the tool. Like you can actually change it in the when you are just changing in making in some changes as well. And then final thing is going to be this is the thing that you are gonna like let's say if you will be generating the block titles in our case, right? So in order to get those block titles, this is where the what you say, the block titles are going to be stored. So completion dot choices, this is the list, choices is the list, and the it is going to be in the message. So this is how, like if you don't understand this code, like I mean if you don't have the understanding of Python, you can just try to copy this code and go to whatever LLM that you're gonna go with, and then just try to give it the code and ask it to explain you the code. You can do that as well. Like that's actually the process that even I follow. If I find the code that I don't actually understand, I just don't copy and paste it. What I'll be doing is I'll give the code to the large language model, and I'll try to ask it to explain it in the simple terms, so that I can actually, you don't have to remember, you don't have to understand the syntax, or you don't have to write the code by yourself. So you just have to understand this thin line of difference. You don't have to learn the syntax, but you have to learn how the code is actually working. So like I mean you just don't have to write from OpenAI. Like if in this case you don't have to write from OpenAI, import OpenAI, client equals to OpenAI. You don't have to understand all these. But what you have to understand is this code is actually going to take the input, and then it is going to send this to the OpenAI, and then you are going to get the response, and the response is going to be stored in this particular format or in this particular place. That's what you have to understand. You don't need to write the entire code by looking at the syntax. So yeah, I think you might have understood the concept or the thing that I just want to give it to you. So and the final thing that we are going to do is, I have told you that we will be using an API key, right? So that is the secret key that you have to store. You just don't have to, like you should be not disclosing it to the public. If you disclose it to the public, whoever uses the key, you are going to be charged in place of them. So if you don't want to be in that particular situation, don't just disclose the key. So the better practice in order to implement the or in order to use an API key in the project, something called environmental variable. I'll just try to show you once we implement it in the VS Code, but as of now, I'm just going to give it the prompt. So I just added a small sentence at the last. I will be adding the API key in the .env. I have told you, right? The environmental variable, we will be storing that in the .env file. So that's it. And the additional thing that you can even give it is you can also try to come out with the output structure that you want to actually get the response from. Let's say if you are actually building a tool, the large language model is going to generate each different structure of response each time, right? So if you try to give it the output structure that you want, so every time it is just going to give you the same output structure, it is going to be easy for you to parse it. So as of now, we'll just ignore that. But yeah, this is just something that you can follow when you are just building out some tools. Guys, if you are actually finding this helpful, just give it a like. And yeah, so this is the prompt that I'll be copying. And I'll just try to send the prompt to the ChatGPT, and I'll be sending the same prompt to all the large language models as well. So I have sent the same prompt to all the large language models. Like we will be checking with it whether the particular prompt that we gave and the particular models that we have used, whether they are able to generate the right code that we can actually use it in order to build the application in a single shot. So yeah, in order to actually run the code on your computer, obviously you have to install the Python. If you don't have the Python installed, just go to whatever the browser that you are using, just type in Python download. You will have this particular first link that you can go to, and in the download section here you can just download the latest version. And yeah, it's pretty simple. You can just go ahead and run the installation. Okay, so I'm actually in the VS Code now. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just creating a new file. I'll just call it tutorial.py. And remember, the extension of the Python file is going to be .py. So I'll just copy the what do you say? I just copy the code that the ChatGPT generated, and I'll just paste it here. So whenever we are giving the prompt, I have told you that we will be giving the secret key or the API key in the .env file, right? So what we have to do is we just have to create a new file with the name .env. And what you have to do is just copy this particular variable name. Then what you have to do is you just have to paste in the key here. So where do you get the key? So just go back to your browser and then go to platform.openai.com/API keys. I'll just leave a link in the description as well. So here you can just click on create a new secret key, and I'll just give it the name tutorial. And once you give it the name, just click on create secret key. And once you click on create secret key, you will be having the key here. You just have to copy this, just paste in the key here. So I'm just going to show you this key because I'll be deleting it once the recording is completed. So yeah, once you have pasted the key, this is it. Like you just have to add in the key here. So the reason that you are going to follow this process is like it is going to be a bit more secure than directly giving it in the direct code that you're actually using. So what ChatGPT actually developed was it actually used a fast API. So it did not actually directly, it went into a bit more complicated process. So let's see whether this is going to come up with the right output that we want or not. But yeah, this is actually something ChatGPT generated. Like it actually used fast API. It is a kind of a framework that we have in Python in order to develop APIs. So don't actually confuse a lot. So there is this yellow line that is under the fast API, right? So the reason for the line that is there is because so we have to install the library in our particular project. So in order to install any Python library, just go to the file and right click on the file. You will have an option to open in integrated terminal. Just click on that. You will have an option here. So just type in pip install fast API. In our case, we have to install the fast API, right? So pip install is going to be the Python, what do you say, library install or something like that. and the module or the library that we are going to install is going to be fast API. So as you can see, the fast API is now successfully installed, and also the yellow line that you have seen before is now actually not there. So yeah, if you have any yellow lines that are just below this, I mean, there might be even some errors as well, but this is just the thing that I'm actually telling you. So if there is an yellow line just below what you say OpenAI, what you have to do is just go to the terminal and install, and just type in the command pip install OpenAI. So what that is going to do is it is going to install the OpenAI library in your project. So once we are, I think we can actually run the code now. Let's just go ahead and run the code. So this is actually a bit complicated when you try to run the fast API. It's not like you have to run it in a different way. You just can't run it like how you run a Python file. But yeah, I mean, ChatGPT generated this, so yeah, let's just go with this. So the structure that you have to follow is UVCon, and you have to add in the name of the Python file that you have created, and this app is going to be the endpoint, which is like you I mean, we have this app here, right? So this is the endpoint, and you have to just write in dash dash reload. So once you run the code, you will be getting a local link, like I mean, you will be having a local host link. So you can just follow this link, and this is going to take you to the. So for the first attempt, like we got an error here, like ChatGPT was unable to actually come up with the first thing, like the for the first shot it was not able to generate the right code. So let's just move on to the next large language model that we have gone with, which is Gemini. So it did not actually use the fast API, it directly went ahead and implemented the thing. So yeah, we'll just try to use this particular code, and let's see if it's actually working or not. uh, I'll just stop the previous server that we have started. So I have actually pasted the code from the Gemini now. And yeah, I think the API key is going to be the exact same thing. Like we have the same syntax here. So yeah, I think we can actually run the code now. As this did not actually try to use any sort of APIs, we can run it usually like how we run a normal Python file, which is going to be Python file name dot like just the Python and the file name. So it is actually asking me the blog topic. So I have entered the blog topic as the affiliate marketing, and let's see if it is actually able to come up with the response. And perfect. I mean, I'm shocked. Like, why ChatGPT took it too complicated, and Gemini just came up with a very simple approach. Yeah. So thumbs up for Gemini. And yeah, let's just now go with the next model. And the next model that we are actually going to check out with is Claude Sonnet 3.5. Let's just copy the code and let's just paste it here. I think it is actually using, yeah, it actually used a Streamlit library. So Streamlit is nothing but in order to actually, like if you check with our Gemini case, we just got the response in the terminal, right? But what if you want to create the user interface for the Python code that you have developed? So Streamlit is a library that actually enables you to come up with the UI of the code that you have actually written. So and the API key variable is exactly the same thing. I think we can just go ahead and run the code. So in order to run the Streamlit code, you have to use this particular command, which is Streamlit run and the file name. So once you have run this, you will be getting a similar link that you have got with the fast API as well. And once you open that link, you will be taken to the page which is going to be something similar. Like most of the UIs that Streamlit generates are going to be, I mean, we can actually try to identify like it is actually generated by the Streamlit. So let me just give it the topic, and I'll just yeah, I'll just go with the three titles, and I'll click on generate titles. As you can see, it says it's in running state, and perfect. We got the titles with the Claude as well. And I mean, to be honest with you, most of the times I actually use Claude Sonnet itself, because and most of the developers even said even though we have the O1 from OpenAI and also R1 from DeepSeek, even I prefer going with the Claude Sonnet, because it is actually the thing. I mean, it actually generates a better code. Like if you compare it with the different models, as we are just testing out, we'll go with the other models as well. And yeah, we will now check with the Grok how it actually came up with. And yeah, we'll just copy the code from the grok as well, and I'll stop the previous process, and I'll paste in the code. It did not actually use the streamlit library, so I think we can actually go ahead and run it in a usual way, like we did with the Gemini. And yeah, I'll go with the same topic and let's see whether we get the response. Perfect. Even the Grok 3 came up with the right. I mean, you can check this out. Like, this is the first approach that we have. Like, we did not even chart the second time with the model. This is just the first approach, and we are actually able to generate the perfect code that we are able to. And let's just go with the deep seek now, and let's see whether this is able to generate the perfect code. And I'll copy this code again. I'll go back to my VS Code and I'll paste in the code. And yeah, it's exactly the same thing, the OpenAI API key. And let me just run the same command again. So yeah, it is actually asking me the blog topic again. Uh, as of let's go with digital marketing now. And perfect. And even DeepSeek R1 actually came up with the perfect code for the first shot itself. And the next model that we are going to check with is going to be Quant 2.5 Max. And yeah, let's just do the same thing. I think this also doesn't have the Streamlit or some other libraries. So we can just directly go ahead and run the same command. And what should be the topic that I have to give now? Maybe generative AI. And perfect. We even got, I mean, I just don't have any idea why ChatGPT was unable to come up with the right thing. Like, we just gave the same prompt for all the tools, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, ChatGPT actually made it too complex. Like, you don't even need to actually implement fast API in order to get the response from the, what do you say, the OpenAI API. But yeah, let's see. And the last and final model is going to be obviously the Mistral. And recently they have come up with a very good model. So yeah, let's check whether this works or not. And this also doesn't actually have the streamlit or the fast API. So let's just go ahead and run the same command, and I'm gonna go with affiliate marketing again. I think this should also come up with okay. So there was some error with the code that is actually generated from the Mistral. So we have tried out all these LLMs and we have errors with ChatGPT and we have errors with Mistral. So coming to ChatGPT, it actually went into a different approach. Like, it has used a very complex, I mean, I don't say very complex, but it is not actually required in our case. So ChatGPT went on with it and it came up with the error. And coming to the Mistral, it did not, I mean, this is the approach that we have to follow. But even though with this particular approach, I don't know why it came out with an error, but yeah. So this is it with the LLMs. So you have actually checked out which performed better and which did not. And the final and the most interesting part is, so I'll actually try to show you an extension in VS Code that you can actually install. And once you have the extension in place, I just don't want to give you all the theory. Let's just go ahead and install the extension now. I'll just give you the demo of it so you'll even understand better. So once you're in VS Code, just go to the extensions tab and just type in Cline. So this is the extension that we are going to install, and you can actually try to, like, this is an autonomous coding agent right in your IDE. This is something you can compare it with Cursor, or if you might have heard about Cursor or Windsurf. So this is something which is similar to it. And coming to Cursor and Windsurf, you have to actually try to pay the subscription for them in order to use them. But coming to Cline, if you have the API key, you can just directly go ahead and use the Cursor for free. Sorry, the Cline for free. So yeah, so once you install this, you will have an option at the left. You can see you have an what do you say, an icon of Cline. You just have to click on it, and once you are here, just go to settings. You just have to configure this only once. And I mean, I have actually configured it, and I'm actually using the OpenAI API, and the API key as I've told you, I've just got it from the OpenAI platform and I've pasted it here. And if you want to actually try this client completely for free, obviously, I mean, you have to pay for the API credits, right? Even if you just want to bypass that as well, and even use more powerful models like DeepSeek R1 and Quen 2.5. In my previous video, I have shown you a way to get the API keys for free. So if you missed that video, just check that video. I'll leave it in the card section and I'll leave the link in the description as well. So just check that video. You will be able to get the API keys for free without actually paying them. So yeah, once you have pasted the API key, the custom instructions that I just gave it was ask me questions before actually generating whatever the response or whatever it may be. And yeah, let's just go ahead and test it out. So what you can do is just click on plus. So what you can do is you can just give it the same prompt that we have gave it to the models. So I have copied the prompt and I will be giving it here. So before actually pressing out enter or the this key, there are two options here which are called plan and act. So plan is nothing but if you keep this on plan, this is not going to write the code now itself. What this is going to do is this is just going to plan your project, and if you are completely done planning with it, you can just go ahead and switch the mode to act. So this is what I have told you, like if you just click on one single button, the entire plan is going to be converted into code. I have told you at the starting, right? So this is what it is about. And as of now, I'm just going to keep it on a plan and I'm just going to send the request to it. And here you will see all the things like the context window, the tokens that you have used, and also the cost that it has actually occurred in order to run this particular API. So as you can see, you got the response. Just go through the response and it is going to ask you some questions. So just respond to those questions until you get the perfect plan. So here, I think all these are perfectly fine and display results is okay. Ensure OpenAI and Python.NET libraries are installed, and we have done that previously. And code structure, yeah, we have the key in the I mean, like you don't have to I mean, in the previous case, we have actually came up with the code and the env file, right? In this case, we have the file already, but if you don't have the file, don't worry, Cline is going to do it for you. And the next thing is going to be, I will read the contents of the tutorial.py file to understand its current state and see if any parts of this plan needs to be added or modified. Okay, so as we already have the tutorial.py file, it is going to come up with that. So what I'm going to do is, so I just gave it a prompt to create a new file from scratch, so that we can actually understand the ability of the model. So yeah, let's just go with it. And it actually came up with the title and all the libraries that it has to use and all those things. So once you're done with the planning, what you have to do is just click on act, which is right over here. Just click on act. So as you can see, I did not just do anything. I just clicked on add and it started what you say sending the request to the API, and then it is now going to write the code for us. And let's see how it is actually going to write the code and whether it is able to come up with the right structure or not. So as you can see, it just started writing the code for like it is just saying me that I'll create a new Python file named block title generator.py, and let's implement the AI block title generator according to the plan. Let's start by writing the complete code. Yeah, now it is actually going to write the complete code for us. Let's wait and see. So as you can see, like it is actually now writing the complete code by itself. And yeah, it is now done writing the code. Yeah, we have a new file as you can see here. Let's go to this file and so it did not even use the Streamlit and the fast API like the chat GPT did. And yeah, let's see. Let's run this code. Let's see how it works. I'm in the new terminal and I have to write in Python. And yeah, we have to enter the blog topic, which is again the affiliate marketing. I just don't have any idea why I'm entering affiliate marketing more than once. Yeah, let's see. Perfect. We got the blog titles as you can see. We just got the blog titles even with the agent that we have used. So yeah, this is it for the video. I think you have find a lot of value with it. and I think you might have even learned a lot of new terms and a lot of new libraries in Python as well. So if you find this video helpful, just give it a like. If you have any questions, just come up in the forum. I'll be happy to help you out. Just share your screenshots there. I'll be happy to help you out. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.